And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. I hope this is the right one. Hope this one is going to be the one that sticks. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcast. Yeah, it's not. Yep. God.
What's the problem?
I don't know. It's just not transmitting. I don't know. It says what we're recording, and it's just not. It's not showing through. It says live and recording. Oh, there you go. Absolutely. All right. Looks like we got here. If you are able to see us, give us a holler out there on Lakers Fast Break. It's Gerald Glassford. Come right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break. It looks like we got an audience going on there. If you can see us, give us a shout out. Hello, it's Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for joining us right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcast. Plus also, as well, Joe Soro. He is Ox 1947. Go ahead and check out what he has to say right there for you at LakersBall.com. Plus, he has a company called Simblades. Simblades with a Y.com. Right now, looks like we are live. Looks like we're going. Yes, there they go. Sorry, everybody. Just a lot of issues with the software today. I apologize for that. It is Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for watching, listening. Go ahead and check out all the other great sites and great Lakers groups that we deal with, including Lakerholics.com. Of course, Lakers Corner. John Costa is here. Go ahead and check out what he's doing with Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. Go ahead also as well, check out the great stuff that's going on with Lakers in 5, Empire Jeff TV, Larry Lakers Dribbling Chit Chat. Also as well, go ahead and check out John McCalian channel and, of course, the Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. And please subscribe today to get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break podcast. Thank you, Sean. Let me know we're live on Facebook. I know what was going on with the software, so I truly apologize for that. Plus, this computer isn't getting any younger, so apologize for that as well. It is Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much for watching. Listening. The Lakers, 17-19, heading into today on a 4-game losing streak. The Darvin Ham being fired rumors are running rampant. Empire Jeff TV had a help wanted sign on his latest show. So with that in mind, going into a Sunday night tilt where nobody in the Lakers land had confidence, the Lakers winning against the red hot Los Angeles Clippers, you said to yourself, this doesn't look like it's going to be a good game for the Lakers. But lo and behold, Lakers had energy tonight. Even though they were down for a good percentage of the first half, they still stayed strong, stayed close, provided a lot of energy, and in the third quarter started to get some plays together. And it started to go ahead and put it together a little bit more on both ends. Got a lot of turnovers tonight as far as this is concerned. I know that we much maligned Cam Reddish and Jared Vanderbilt for a lot of things, but I'll tell you what, the defense that they provide at times is very helpful, especially when you're playing against guys like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and James Harden. So it leads to a lot of turnovers. You can get some steals, and that's what the Lakers did in the late third quarter. They did get a 32-24 advantage, and in the fourth quarter, got just enough performance from the Lakers. They didn't do the folding act like they did on Friday, and they ended up winning 106-103, pulling it out. They're now 18-19 on the season. I think they moved back into 10th place. They do in the Western Conference because Golden State got their butts kicked at home tonight against Toronto. And here today to talk about today's game. Is this a sign of good things to come for the Lakers? We'll talk about that. Two great panelists are here today. First up, first man here, it is the guy that you know and love as Ox 1947 at LakersBall.com. It is Joe Soro. Joe, great to have you here. Appreciate your patience. I don't know what was going on with the software earlier. Apologize for that. But when it comes down to it, the Lakers, they didn't run into too many problems. And it just looked like they were able to go ahead and finally do what you asked them to do and finished off when they had a lead.
Well, the important thing is they allowed themselves some wiggle room. So when they took the 10-point lead, they allowed themselves some wiggle room in case or when you knew that the Clippers were going to make a run. teams like the Clippers, teams that are good teams, playoff teams, they're going to make a run at some point. And and by having that cushion, it ended up helping them in the end. They ran the zone, the Clippers did, for a short amount of time. For those who think that D Angelo Russell isn't a asset to this team, today you found out that he does have a little bit of need.
Struggled in that first half mightily.
The
and
threat sometimes is
Yeah.
enough. And he's a good mid-range guy. So
did turn it on with those 2 3-pointers in a row and got that confidence.
and we can't also forget that AD looked like AD 220. I'm sorry, 2020 from mid-range tonight. Thoroughly impressed by Anthony Davis's performance. It was just phenomenal. I just wish we had a rebounder next to him. Might make things a little easier. I know that a lot of you think that Darvin Ham muffed some of the stuff towards the end. The reality is, guys, is Cam Reddish and Vando can't seem to control the ball. They're just not able to control the ball anywhere near anything. That's not something a coach can kind of stop. We need Rui to get back quick, because I think that would be something where we wouldn't have to worry about that as much. LeBron, wow, what can I say? I hadn't really spoken too loud this last few days. I've been under the weather. But man, I yelled pretty good on that dunk. Holy smokes, that was a nice dunk. And then he kind of teetered off towards the end. They actually extended their lead when LeBron was on the bench. This was the first game I can remember this year where the Lakers played really well without LeBron on the court. So that's something to look forward to. Christian Wood, God, I wish he could play like this every game. He was phenomenal. Christie put in some good work in there. Very happy with him today. If we just didn't have those muffs from Vando and Cam Reddish, this game probably wouldn't have been as close. Honestly, it's absolute killers. They're unforced errors. They're just not able to control the ball. There needs to be something done there. I don't know what. Talent infusion, I don't know what, but it's really, really, you can't do that stuff when the games get even more important, This is still a regular season game, but I am happy that they beat the Clippers for the second time in a row. We're going to see them again in a couple of weeks. Wouldn't mind serving them a sweep here this year if we can. I don't know. I didn't have a feeling on today's game, really. I had a little bit of an inkling in my head, like, just because we're expecting them to stink, they're probably going to play well. And they did. But I want Rui to get back. And I want Rui and I want D'Angelo to start playing more so that we can get some chemistry and some cohesion. That's, at this point, I just want everyone to be healthy. I think we've dealt with enough injuries with this stuff. And then maybe Rob can do something. I don't know what between now and the trade deadline. I don't think anybody in the buyout market's going to do much. I know you mentioned Chris Paul. I guess he could be someone that could do something, but I don't know if he's...
No, just his contract. He's out 6 weeks with a fractured hand. So.
Yeah, I don't know. See, the thing is with Chris Paul is he gets worse as the year goes on.
But he would be a buyout candidate. People were asking me questions on who would be a buyout candidate. I have a feeling whether or not he gets traded or not from the Golden State Warriors, he'll be a buyout candidate as far as it's concerned, especially where the Golden State Warriors are right now.
Well, Juan, he's going to have to, because we can't keep... I know that Rui isn't as good of a defender as, let's say, Cam and Vando, but their offense... see, I can't...
Terrible.
It's just the unforced errors, because obviously Reddish hit some key threes, but those turnovers mask those 3-pointers. Mistakes do different things than good shots in a lot of ways. Too many mistakes. There's just too many basketball mistakes that certain players make that we can't afford to continue to go over and over again. But other than that, it just goes to show you that when the talented guys that you brought in, you signed, that once they just do their job, man, look at the difference it does. That's all we're asking, but we have to go game by game on this. I don't know how it's going to play out here. I know enthusiasm and confidence right now is up a little bit, but I'm just going to try to take it game by game. I know we talked about this in the last show that I don't want to have to keep repeating everything every game. Oh, kill Darvin Ham, kill Darvin Ham, kill Darvin. At some point, that starts to get stale, guys. And by the way, today, Darvin Ham didn't show any reason to pick on him again. I'm sorry. You can't coach a perfect game for 48 minutes. And I didn't notice any bad stuff to the point where I thought it cost the team in any way. Even if they had lost this game. The Lakers had too many unforced errors in the game that aren't tied to the coach. But they did enough to win. And Taurean Prince, I always say when you make a mistake, if you can make up for it, then you're good. Taurean Prince on that foul 3 to Powell, that was probably the first time tonight where I was like, God, that kind of stomp on my feet. And then when he hit the 3 to put the Lakers up by 3, that was like, okay, good. You made a mistake, and then you covered your mistake. Good. And then, of course, he had 2 clutch free throws. And that essentially was the ball game. So congratulations to him. He gets a lot of crap. Folks, he's a minimum player, a little bit over a minimum player. The fact that he's doing what he's doing is, you got to take that into consideration. It's probably why you don't hear me talk too much smack about Taurean Prince. It matters. It matters, guys. This is not a $15, $20 million player. We get mad at D'Lo. We get mad at Austin Reeves because those guys are making 14, 17. Rui, let's say if he's not playing well, 17. These guys are supposed to be playing at a better level. And that's how it is.
Once again, it is the Lakers winning 106-103. Also here today, good man indeed. You got to go ahead and check him out at Lakers Corner and Clutch Talk. He is the Clutch. How about just Clutch Talk Lakers Corner? What if you combine both into Clutch Talk Lakers Corner?
I'm cool with that.
That's a tongue twister right there for you. But it is, of course, John Costa. John, great to have you here. You are the official president of the D Angelo Russell fan club. And in doing so, you did get to see the best and worst of D'Lo on today's game. You know, the first half was not pretty, but he did have his patented D'Lo surge where he made 2 3-pointers and a couple of shots inside in a row. Still, the numbers aren't great, but you know what? They got what they needed when they needed, plus they got timely defense on the Clippers, and that got the job done tonight.
Absolutely. You know, D'Lo's first game back after missing, I believe, like the last 3 games in a row. And I was expecting a big difference right off the rip. From the beginning, I was like, all right, cool. We're going to have somebody to be able to bring the ball up court, just, you know, take the playmaking responsibilities out of LeBron's hand a little bit. Beginning of the game, that absolutely is going so south. Like me as the president of the D Angelo Russell support group, I'm like, man, this is just getting worse and worse. He was missing wide open threes. I believe he started the game 0 for 4 from the 3-point line. And the thing that I hung my hat on for D Angelo Russell is I know a lot of people always talked about, his scoring ability. And I was the one that, and I've said it on here many times, I overlooked the scoring ability for the playmaking ability that he brings to our team. But he wasn't even doing that at first. He was turning the ball over, wasn't playmaking, wasn't hitting his open shots. So it just looked terrible. But much to your point, Gerald, you talked about how he hit those 2 threes later in the game. Ended up finishing 3 for 9 from the 3-point line, which isn't ideal to me. Like, I would like him to notch that down a little bit more, because for the inconsistency that he knocks it down at, like, I just need him to chill out. He has one of those Hooper's like irrational confidence. Like he just came down court. The first one he made, I was like, all right, cool. Then he came down court and just pulled the second one. I'm glad he made it. I'm glad it went in. But in my head, I was like, no, come on, D'Lo. But that's an irrational confidence in the Hooper. So you love to see it. Some other things I want to touch on with the game. I might be a little everywhere just because my thoughts are everywhere. But one of the biggest things that I noticed from the Lakers side was like we just allowed the Clippers, and especially Zoo, to just control the glass. He finished with 19 rebounds, 10 offensive. If you were watching the game, you saw how many second chance points that the Clippers got.
Thanks so much, Robin Magic, for trading away for Mike Muscala.
we could have got away with this game a lot closer than it had to be if we didn't give up as many second chance points as we did. There was I think back to the possession when Zubac ended when I think Norman Powell missed a three. Zoo got the rebound, kicked it back out, and then I believe it was Norman Powell again who went to shoot a three, got fouled, and then that's 3 points right there. He went to the free throw line, knocked him down more. But that also, that goes to the point of what Joe was talking about earlier. Like we need another big man next to AD. And I think back to when we were most dominant was 2020, not most dominant of all time, but as of late was 2020. We won that championship. What made us dominant is because we had lockdown defenders. We had the Air Force back there. If you got past our perimeter defenders, okay, good luck getting that up over Dwight, over JaVale, or over AD. And ever since then, the Lakers have just moved away from that strategy of having big men in there protecting the rim. And it's in games like this, it really hurt us. It really did hurt us. Again, I'm glad we ended up getting a win. Didn't want to go on a 5-game losing streak. So I'm glad we ended up getting the win from Darvin Ham. Joe, you said it best. I don't think there's anything to like kill him over. Although I would add the same thing that I said last game, which is like Christian Wood's got to see more minutes. He's got to see more minutes, man. Last game,
Christian Wood, the Christian Wood that showed up tonight, needs to see more minutes.
Correct, but if we remember last game when he was having a good first half, and then all of a sudden Darvin Ham pulled him and didn't even let him even go on for the second half. He ended up, I believe, playing 16 minutes last game. And had a good first half, and then didn't get played out second half. To me, that's coaching issue. And then this game as well, he played even less. I'm looking right here on the game sheet, 15 minutes and 57 seconds. So, I mean, we could round it up to 16. So again, I just don't understand the issue of not letting Christian Wood play too much out there. And then another point, and then I'll let you guys get to it is, man, I just feel like for a game in January 7th, so early in the season, we rely so heavily on a 39-year-old LeBron James, and it's just it's a road that is working. I mean, I wouldn't even say it's working right now because we sit at I think that now we're in the 10th seed, but it's a road that can get us wins, but it's not a equation or something that we can rely on down the road. Like, he's 39 years old. We can't do this, Lakers Nation. He can't check out for about like 2 minutes and a half and then be right back at the scorer's table because of how bad we played without him. This game, I think it was one of them rarities because our bench came up big. But kind of like how Joe said, and that's the last thing I'll say. I'm not going to get too high, not going to get too low. We ended up having 31 bench points, but not going to get too high, not going to get too low because at this point, I just don't see it being consistent as continuing to do this with LeBron off the court.
Once again, the Lakers do win 106-103. They are now back in 10th place in the Western Conference, record of 18-19 on the season. Joe, when you see the Lakers have the kind of defense, especially they played out more on the perimeter. Yes, Clippers still got a lot of opportunities, Joe, but they contested more threes. It looked like that they were giving the Clippers a harder time on the perimeter instead of just wide open look after wide open look. Well, okay, there was that one by Russell Westbrook, but really giving him a wide open look is not exactly the baddest thing or the worst thing in the world. But when it comes right down to it, when you give up so many open threes over the course of the season like you have, it is so refreshing for a change when you see that there's more contested threes like you saw tonight against a 3-point reliant team in the Clippers.
Yeah, common sense adjustments must be made. The Lakers did not guard Marcus Smart in the last game, thinking he would be like Westbrook. Well, folks, Marcus Smart is not just some bum. Marcus Smart's a great player. I'm sorry, a very good player. And even a player like that who doesn't shoot well will get offended when you leave him open. He's like, oh, yeah, leave me open? Okay. Oh, you're leaving me open again? Oh, you leave me open again. These guys are competitive. I think an audience doesn't realize sometimes how competitive athletes are, especially at the professional level. So they adjusted. Plus, you don't leave James Harden. You don't leave Kawhi Leonard. You don't leave Paul George wide open. Hell, they were making shots. Hell, Paul George was making shots with everybody in his face, including AD. These guys can shoot. Powell was making shots on his rear end. So there's a lot of this. There's more positive in this thing than discussed so far, because the Clippers didn't really play that bad. They actually played pretty well. The reason why they didn't win is because the Lakers were on them. They were on them for 48 minutes. It made a difference. And the Lakers were able to get some, what was the word I was looking for? They were able to get some distance when they were up double digits, just in case they made a run, which they did. And in the end, once things evened out, AD was making his shots, Torian Prince was making his shots, and then, of course, Prince and AR were able to hit 3 out of 4 free throws to end the game. I don't know if this is going to do anything for, let's say, the next game against Toronto or Phoenix after that. I don't know. The NBA seems to be, well, sports in general seem to be pretty even everywhere these days. Almost every team I saw today during the football games was either teetering on 7 and 8. No, wait, I'm sorry. 8 and 9, 9 and 8, like 9-8, 8-9. Like almost everybody's 9 wins, 8 losses, or 8 wins, 9 losses. So much parity in so many things. NBA was the last, I would say, is the last league that's kind of adopted the evening out of the league. We don't have the dominant teams anymore, where hey, this team's going to go to the finals. That we don't know that anymore. Even when Denver was playing well last year, no one knew they were going to go to the finals. So with that, I'm going to enjoy this win tonight and hope that they can go on a run here. They need to go on at least like a 5-0 run, like a 5-game winning streak. Get some legit confidence back. I mean, they're playing at home for the next 6 out of 7 games. Actually, technically, it's 7 because they're playing the Clippers on that last leg.
Yeah, it's a road game.
Right. And then after that, they're playing the Bulls. So actually, it's more. So they're only going to be really on the road for 1 game on January 13th. And then from January 9th on Tuesday until January 25th, they're going to be in LA. This is your way to maybe make up some ground, folks. Home cooking, get your confidence up. You're sleeping in your own bed. Let's see if we can get 7 out of 9 wins here at least. Start to get back into the winning mode.
Once again, it is the Lakers. They do win 106-103. John, let me bring it back to you, my friend. Want to go ahead and ask you this. When it comes right down to it, the Lakers, they need to take this with momentum as far as this, whatever they have from this great victory over a surging team in the Clippers, and use that going forward. Like Joe says, they're at home. There's no more excuses. There were no excuses coming into 2024. They have a lot of home games. They really messed up in the past too, but they have the opportunity now that they've got this game, now that they've got this win under the belt, to go ahead and start on a streak. Like Joe says, 5 out of 6. 7 out of 9. Just something where fans and the whole team can finally start getting confidence that they can play good basketball on a consistent basis, John.
Yeah, we need it. We need it. I said this on the previous stream. I said, coming into this home game stretch that we were having. I mean, it's these games coming up, but it's also been these past games. I mean, the Grizzlies game, we were at home. Believe the Miami Heat game, we were also at home. Trying to remember if the Pelicans and Timberwolves as well. So, and coming into all these games, we were at home, and that was the biggest thing I was saying. I was like, all right, coming into 2024, we got to take advantage of the year early. We didn't have an identity. We were struggling with an identity. The Darvin Ham was on the hottest seat, in around the NBA. And I was like, all right, cool. Well, here's a chance for us to go ahead and get it together. We didn't get it together. Went on that 4-game losing streak. And, I'm gonna echo exactly what you guys both said. I think that this new, 6 to 7 game stretch that we have here at home is gonna be big for us. This is our second chance. They butchered it the first time, and now we got a second chance to be able to put something together. Because if not, I think February, around that trade deadline, a lot of these role players, they'll be finding their way out of LA, because LeBron James is, if he doesn't like the team, if he doesn't think this team has a chance, or he doesn't like what's around him, or feel like it's even competable, La GM is gonna make some moves. Gonna force the hand of Rob, and we're gonna have to.
Could he ask to be traded if it goes sour once again for the Lakers before the trade deadline?
Man, I personally don't see it happening. I'm gonna be honest. I personally don't see it happening. But I guess Stone was talking about that last stream, so it definitely.
Well, he was saying what he thinks the Lakers should do. But you and I realize, and he does too, that LeBron will not be traded unless he asks to be traded, because the Lakers don't want that kind of PR hit.
Yeah, I personally don't think it'll happen. I mean, realistically, I think the only way LeBron James leaves is if there's just some crazy, like, something going on in the background that LeBron's like, I don't even want to be here. But my thing, and I know it's not the greatest thing of LeBron, and I think Joe has talked about this in past streams, of just like focusing too much on like other things besides the court and besides winning, right? I think LeBron James, a big reason why he wanted to come to LA is because he wants to do his little post-career, everything that he's got going on outside of the court, and LA is the best place to be for that. So I don't think he'll really leave. I think the only way he does leave is if, like, let's say Bronny is definitely going somewhere else. But Magic Man in the house. What's up, Magic Man?
What's up, guys?
But to answer your question, Joe,
I know,
yeah,
if I saw Joe
LeBron's
too,
gone.
that's the kind of response I would give Magic Man. You're right on that.
That's just short answer. I don't think LeBron is going to request out. Don't see it. They just realistically don't see it happening.
Once again, the Lakers do win 106-103. See,
Yeah,
now
Gerald,
it's my
what are you
they
doing,
do
man?
lose. No,
Jesus.
they won, Gerald. Stop it. 106-103. Also here today, good man indeed. He's the madman from Toronto. He did get out of Toronto traffic to go ahead and stop on by. I thought he was going to be. He told me tomorrow. Well, tomorrow is today, because it is the Magic Man, Sean Grice. It is tomorrow, actually, where you're at, and it's still today for me. Lakers win, my friend. They put together a victory, a good defensive performance. I wish, again, it wasn't the prettiest game to watch, especially, with the turnovers right and left, but the Lakers did get the job done. What did you like from today's game?
Well, from what I saw in the fourth quarter, I'm just glad we won.
Okay. It's good. I mean, we did hold it together in the fourth quarter, unlike on Friday, my friend.
Unlike Friday, indeed, Gerald. Apologies for looking a little disheveled. Dealing with life. Unfortunately, Mama Magic Man passed away, and it's a difficult time for us right now. But I just wanted to let everybody know that the outpouring of support and love is greatly appreciated from all of us right now. I'm holding a lot back. I was screaming a lot a few days ago. I'm surprised the cops didn't knock on my front door. But I just want to thank the LFB community. And second of all, Mama Magic Man would be the first one telling me to get back on the horse and get back to talking about what we love, which is the Lakers. And she'd want us to move forward, onward and upward, Gerald. The rocket is starting finally to lose its boosters, and we're headed to the top.
We'll see if that's the case, Magic Man. Just great to have you here, my friend. Wishing you and your entire family not only condolences, but all the best from all of us here at the Lakers Fast Break. I know you and I and Joe have been talking to you off for quite some time now these past few days. We know you've been going through some rough times, but we're here for you. This whole entire community, this community of well over 1,000 people are here for you, my friend. Anytime you need us, we're here for you. We just want to let you know that you've got all of our support anytime.
Thank you very much, Podfather.
There you go, indeed. In fact, he's getting the love right now in the comments. Whole bunch of comments for you, Sean. So definitely glad to see you, my friend, and just wishing the best for you and your entire family. But Joe, let me bring it back to you. Oh my gosh, he's got that evil look again. Joe, let me bring it back to you, my friend. I really appreciate Joe holding it up as far as the playback is concerned. Appreciate the simulcast. When it comes right down to it, Joe, when you see these signs from the Lakers that they can play good enough defense and get just enough offense to get the job done, it's still concerning to me because the fact that, obviously offense is still an issue with us, but when they go and play the kind of defense that they do tonight, they can get themselves and keep themselves in any game that they choose to if they get that kind of effort, Joe.
Correct. It was imperative that they stuck on guys like Harden and Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Is Kawhi Leonard injured?
He had been one of the hottest players in the NBA up until today.
I felt like he was not. I forgot he was playing in some certain parts of the game.
He disappeared at times. You're right.
So I don't have an answer. I really don't on why you can play so bad
He
two
played
games,
35 minutes, just to give you the heads up,
and then play so good tonight. I don't know. I can't rely on the fact that D Angelo made that much of a difference. I mean, he helped out a lot tonight, don't get me wrong, but he's not the guy that's playing stout defense for 48 minutes. He's not capable of doing that. So I think it was maybe the Memphis game was a little bit of a slap that woke him up a little bit. They need to go on a run here now and use that fuel and continue to use it. There's nothing else really to discuss. I mean, we've discussed everything. LeBron is playing more minutes than I'd like him to play, but he seems to be doing pretty well. I'm very impressed with Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis didn't have high numbers tonight, but he was a pain in the rear end to everyone. And he still had, one block?
Yeah. The one block, Joe. I know you pointed that down.
You know what the hell it is? Seriously,
those scores hate AD.
Stats? How does that guy have one block tonight? How many shots were going that way or that way tonight? Weird. Anyways, a little bit of me says if you can just get a third scorer, consistent scorer, and a big, I don't know how the hell they can do that, but and then you have a LeBron James and an Anthony Davis that's healthy, considering an 82-game season, right? Then anything is possible at that point. But they do need some reinforcement here. They need some third guy that can, kind of like Powell. You see how Powell was for the Clippers? Came off the bench and just, he's that guy that hits those threes and just daggers people.
Where we were talking about this, Westbrook is actually, it's fine to have Westbrook on that team because instead of being on the Lakers where he was the third option or he was trying, the Lakers wanted to be that number 3 guy, he is the number 7 guy, 6 or 7 guy for the Clippers. That really works out, Joe, for them because you don't have to rely at all on Westbrook to do it's just like gravy. It's just like anything he gives you positively is a bonus for them.
Well, that and I wasn't really impressed with Harden tonight. Was I the only one?
Harden tonight, yeah, not really good either, but Reddish was playing really good defense on him. 4-13, 15. I got to credit Reddish and Vando. They look terrible driving the ball to the basket, but they do play
That
Pretty
needs to
good
stop.
one-on-one defense.
That needs to stop. Those mistakes need to stop.
These are simple drives to the basket. It's like an adventure.
But it doesn't matter. You cannot give Vanderbilt the ball in traffic, let alone. Well, you can't give him the ball even in open space, let alone in traffic.
You can't give him the ball on the outside.
Can't give him the ball. Period. I'm not gonna lie. He looks scared. Like there were so many possessions on the fast break where he's just like giving it up. Him and Cam. I'm not gonna lie.
Can we just increase the number of timeouts to like 40? So every time the Lakers have a defensive possession, they just call a timeout.
The last minute or so was great because we didn't have to deal with the God. I gotta stop taking the Lord's name in vain. We gotta stop with this.
Yeah, you do.
5 seconds.
No chance of that happening.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna stop. It's kind of starting getting dumb.
We'll see.
I do it on here because it's not as bad as a cuss word as an F word, but there's just fix that. You guys fixed your defense from last game. Fix that. Stop giving Vanderbilt the ball in traffic, preferably even in open space if you can. And then Cam Reddish, don't go to the basket when there's a couple people in front of you. Thank you.
Don't be an offensive player.
I'm starting just to think we should just start calling them the cardio bros.
I'm sick, Alan. What do you mean?
That's all they're out there doing. Is just running up and down the court on both ends with no sense of purpose whatsoever. So I'm gonna dub Vando and Cam the cardio bros.
Maybe we should go to the offense that Vivek was talking about, where we just have one guy cherry pick, or maybe just five.
Well, I mean, three on five is working wonders. I mean, at least we beat the Clippers tonight, 3-on-5.
Well, Reddish did make some shots on the outside. Those 2 3-pointers by Reddish was really key and crucial. When he does that, that's great. It's just when you ask him to do other simple things on the offensive end, guys, you can see it developing, and you're just going, oh, these are plays that I can't believe that they didn't learn. Or, John, I'll bring it back to you in AAU, or, in case of Cam Reddish at Duke, or in college. I am so surprised that at this level, those two guys, just in certain facets of the game offensively, they are so inept. It just is amazing how that happens.
Yeah, no, honestly, they are just too, and I take notes to like every game, and one of the notes that I took is like they're just like two absolute negatives out there. And yes, like I do want to give Cam his credit for knocking down those 2 threes or whatnot, but it's like he'll knock down these 2 threes, and then the next game he might go for a donut, and to me it's like, I'll be honest, like they play some good defense, but I don't think they're playing defense to the point where I'm like, all right, cool. Like I can accept a donut from you. We need more from offense from them. And honestly, I'm starting to think that maybe with Cam Reddish, like it's got to be something. It's got to be a mental thing. It's got to be a mindset thing. Because if you watch Cam Reddish prior to the Lakers, like when he was on the Blazers, he didn't get much burn on the Knicks because Tom Thibodeau just wasn't giving him no chance. But he was on the Blazers, like, and when he was in college, where he got his bread and butter and what his game came from was that he was a bucket. He could go score. He could go score at will. And right now, it looks like he's scared to put the ball on the ground. Jarrett Vanderbilt, when he gets the ball, honestly, just doesn't know what to do. I think back to possession in this game.
He is petrified when he has that ball near the basket.
Petrified. Absolutely petrified. It's giving me Ben Simmons vibes, to be honest with you, because I saw him catch the ball. I believe he was like right in the middle of the lane. AD was cutting backdoor, and he either could float it and go for a floater or throw the lob to AD. He was like stuck between the two in air and then try to throw like a lob, but the lob was terrible because last minute he thought to float it. Ball came off the side of the left side of the backboard.
How about that bounce pass to D'Lo? Oh, sorry, bounces pass.
It's horrendous. Yeah, there's that one right there, or the other one.
D'Lo bailed him out by making it, but still, the fact that it took forever to get there because it bounced twice.
Absolutely. Or the other one I was going to bring up was when Vando ended up getting a steal on the perimeter, and then it was him and AD on a 2-on-1 fast break, and AD gave him the ball. And he gave the ball up literally in the 0.2 seconds right back up to AD, which I understand. Okay, Anthony Davis, generational talent. We all can't be as good as him, but you got to have some confidence to be able to at least put the ball on the ground and go up. But at this point, he just looks scared and playing. And I'll tell you this, as a basketball player, playing basketball scared, playing basketball to not make a mistake is not the way you want to play basketball at all. I'll say that much.
Excellent thoughts right there. Again, that's John Costa, Lakers Corner and Clutch Talk. Magic Man, let me bring it back to you, my friend. With the Lakers now having Toronto on Tuesday and, like Joe said, Phoenix coming up on the horizon, these are home games that you have to get. You have to make this a good week for the Lakers. When it comes down to it, you've got a very good win. This is a good win as far as this is the kind of win that gets you confidence because you didn't play your best ball offensively and you still got the W. How important is it for the Lakers to go ahead and get back on the right track this week, my friend?
Well, you know what, Gerald? I believe we're undefeated in the Dylan Windler era there. So,
Okay.
why don't we
Our Lord
keep it?
Savior Dylan Windler, from what I've heard on and read on online.
Yeah. Yes.
He's gonna be great. 33 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
G League game.
Yes.
League.
Cheat league.
Yes.
Back to reality, Gerald.
Yes.
Yeah. I think they should go undefeated this week. Will they? Only time will tell. To quote Asia, I think they will. First of all, I think even though Toronto made a pretty good trade there, I think they're still vulnerable on the perimeter. I mean, Darko is a good coach, but I essentially think that they're a make or miss team at this point. They have a lot of playmakers. Scotty Barnes, Schroeder have developed the chemistry, Gerald. So wouldn't be surprised if the Raptors eventually re-sign Schroeder to an extension. That being said, Gary Trent is hit or miss. Quickly still trying to find his role with the Raptors.
RJ Barrett, 36 points tonight. Or 37, actually.
That's the guy who's been a Laker killer no matter what uniform he wears. So, I mean, he's a high. The thing about RJ is he's high intensity, but that doesn't necessarily translate to efficiency and productivity. It's almost like you're a KG or Moses Malone without the specter of just sheer will get it done. At times he's very fierce on the boards. At times he's very lackadaisical. Again, 36 points, Gerald. He could come out against the Lakers and shoot 4 of 19. I mean, he is prone to those types of games, especially when he's in the high 30s. I expect the Lakers just to kind of collapse on the Raptors on the perimeter, and I think they should win, honestly.
Once again, the Lakers do win 106-103. Joe, let me bring it back to you, my friend. When it comes to the Lakers, they need to use this as a building block going forward, despite all the rumors and innuendo in regards to Ham's job status, which, again, seems to be a little bit of cold water put on for now. I know that Empire Jeff already had the help wanted signs out there. And of course, the media reports are talking about this internal strife this past week as far as the locker room is concerned. I'm not going to hear any excuses tonight from Ham because they won, but this just seems to me like a little bit of a Band-Aid over what really are the problems and the root problems of what's going on with the Lakers.
The root problems is a talent deficiency. They have 2 starters every game that shouldn't be starters. That's first and foremost. And then you have Darvin Ham, who's challenged in creating plays when you need one and not being able to control the game during the 48 minutes. He just seems like he's in and out, or mainly out. We've talked about how when you have stars, that can mask a lot of things. I call it the great eraser. Bill Belichick had the greatest eraser that ever played sports in Tom Brady. So Bill Belichick could cut anyone on that team and get someone else on the cheap because Tom Brady was the great eraser. But when he kept doing that after Tom left, you saw the results.
Doesn't quite work out the same, did it?
No, it doesn't. Look, this is I think Mike Scioscia said this in 2002 after they won the World Series. They asked him, is it more fun winning as a manager or as a player? He goes, it's always better as a player. And what I got out of that was the players is really, at the end of the day, what makes a difference. The evidence is in the Patriots. The evidence is in San Antonio with Greg Popovich. It's a talent-based sports world. You have to have talent to win. Heck, the 2013 Washington Redskins coaching staff had LaFleur, had McDaniel, had Kyle Shanahan. They had like every head coach in the NFL right now who's doing well was on that same staff. And as soon as RG3 got hurt, that team went into crap. So it doesn't matter how good the coach is in a lot of ways. It matters to cover the gap. So I think my thing with Darvin Ham isn't so much the coaching part, it's his response to it that's bothered me. Because a leader doesn't talk like that. A leader doesn't make excuses. A leader doesn't say, and then on top of that, you're getting called out by your fellow NBA people about talking like that. Bam Adebayo, in case you guys didn't know, Bam Adebayo said, that's why you have 15 players, saying that you're not winning because you have a couple of guys out. Well, that's why you have 15 players. Spo would never do that, which is true. Leaders don't make excuses, even if it's warranted. A good excuse is still an excuse. It's just what it is, guys. Life sucks sometimes like that. But I know a lot of times people want to think that things need to be fair. Nope. No, sorry. Life is not fair. Look at what Magic Man's dealing with right now. Life is not fair. Life is very unfair, probably 80% of the time. So the least you can do is take the bumps. At least LeBron, after the post-game interview on Friday, was, we suck. Sometimes it's that simple. We suck. I don't know what to tell you. And that's it. All this dialogue and all this. And I really find it hilarious that Shams that said that?
Shams was the one. Yeah, Shams was the one.
Sorry, Freudian slip keeps coming out.
Shams Charania for the Athletic, everybody. Yes. Go ahead, Magic. Sorry, let me get you in. Go ahead, Magic.
He does work with Michelle Beadle. So when you say sham, you're kind of in the ballpark there, Joe.
Thank you. It's 82 games is a
Michelle
lot.
Beadle, you're one twisted bitch. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. And on that note,
isn't she back on the radio?
She should. Fish Lips should be back on the radio.
Is that what they call her?
Okay, let's move on here. It is the Lakers fast break. So Joe, finish up, my friend. Go ahead.
Yeah, just take it game by game, folks. Roll with it. It's 82 games, man. It's a lot of emotions. Today's game is different than it was 20 years ago. Even we're caught up in every single play, every series, all the time. But we do still have to get on the unnecessary stuff. I think that's probably what I'm going to try to focus on a little bit more, because it's a little bit more credible in the response on why things aren't working out.
So let me ask you this, Magic Man. I'll get to you in a sec, John. Magic Man, when you see LeBron turn back the clock, I'm sure you saw the highlight of his super slam early in the game, which got us all excited and pumped up. And Joe was screaming with whatever vocal cords he has and almost tore him through, just because we were so excited. When you see him on there, and then it's like right after we get the complaints, he's not hustling back on defense. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. Sometimes he's playing Kawhi in the first quarter when he's feeling fresh, but in the third quarter, he's not hustling back on defense, but he's giving you those. I don't know what the guy can do. He's 39. He's your leading scorer in the game. Last game against Memphis, he and AD ran out of gas, but they both got you above 30. Today, they didn't get you their 30s, but still 25 and 22 respectively. The thing is, the Lakers gave him enough support this time on both an offensive and defensive basis to get the job done. But it just seems like LeBron, and again, I don't want to be the big LeBron supporter or the LeBron defender and all that. He can do that on his own, but it sometimes just LeBron just cannot win for losing, my friend.
That's well accentuated there, Gerald. Very nice. Very nice. Yes, because it feels like no matter how well those two play, that the rest of the group is like on half a tank of gas, and you don't know whether they're going to make it to the finish line or not. It feels like they're just on that half reserve, like they don't have a full clip ready to go all the time. And it doesn't need to be 3 or 4 guys. You just need really 2 consistently over and over again, and they still can't get that. It's amazing how this situation has unfolded, and I can't state any more eloquently than Joe did about Ham's buffoonery, and we all know that the 6'7" hands in his pockets garden gnome won't be making adjustments anytime soon either. So I'm just it's mind numbing, really. 3-on-5 offense, and then you know what, Gerald? What percentage of teams would you say play drop coverage in the NBA? I'll say conservatively around 75%.
I would say that most, because that seems to be a trend throughout the league, but I'm not in love with it. But yeah, I mean, in a 3-point shooting league, drop coverage is not the defense I would throw out there, but okay, it is.
Yeah, fair enough. So around 22, 23 teams employ drop coverage. Yeah. So it doesn't matter how good your individual defenders are if you're playing drop coverage. Drop coverage is dependent on all 5 guys playing the role equally. It's not as if one defensive player is more important or more significant than the other 4. It doesn't work like that anymore. Look at the defensive player of the year winners over the past 30 years, Gerald, excluding Gary Payton, excluding Meta Sanford Artest, formerly Ron Artest. I want to get that correct. And Marcus Smart. They've been basically all big men, Gerald. All their power forwards or centers mixed in with a couple of small forwards. But that being said, this drop coverage, I would call it not a gimmick. It's not like the Wildcat, although it kind of feels that way. But it's ho-hum. It's. I think eventually, Gerald, scouting and coaches are just way too smart, and eventually, I think drop coverage will go the way of the La Brea Tar Pits, right?
Or the Dodo. But the switching defense where you're automatically switching just to switch, like we saw tonight from the Lakers. I'm certain.
How the hell do you know about the La Brea? Wow, man, you really are knowledged at everything.
I am.
You are a Renaissance man. Seriously. I didn't even know about that place until like 5 years ago.
Wow.
And you live in Southern California?
Didn't know a damn freaking, I had no idea. The reason why, you know why I found out what it was? When I was, my buddy Jesse lived like right across the street from me. I'm like, what is this? You don't know what the law. And then I finally remembered. I was like, oh, it's the place in Last Action Hero. Oh yeah. But I didn't know.
I went there for a school trip when I was a kid.
Well, what do you want me to do?
That must have been a real cool trip, Joe.
Yeah, it was.
Anyway, if you get a
John,
chance,
did you know about the La Brea Tar Pits? Have you been to the La Brea Tar Pits?
I'll be honest, guys. I live in NorCal. I have never heard or been to the La Brea Tar Pits. I'll be real.
Okay. All right.
But I got an excuse. I'm in NorCal.
Okay. Fair enough indeed. But let me bring it to Magic Man. I'll get it right back to you. But John, I want to ask you this. When you see the Lakers playing defense like this, it's obviously going to keep you in games. What can they do to go ahead and maybe accentuate the offense more? Is your favorite player, and I'm just kidding when I say that, but I may not be, D Angelo, is that the answer? Do you put him in the starting lineup after a game like today?
Man, I mean, I'm going to keep echoing what I've been saying, that I'm not a big fan of having one set starting lineups. Like, you got to take it a game by game situation, because there's some games where you're going to need more of a scoring punch, and in those games, sorry, excuse me, had to clear my throat. On those games where you need more of a scoring punch, then maybe you don't have D'Lo out there. Maybe there's games where LeBron James is going to take more of an off night. Then you do need D'Lo out there so he could play make, so he could set up everybody else on our team. D'Lo's definitely not my favorite player. I want to make that known. He's just my favorite. One of my favorite Lakers too.
Well, you are the president of his fan club currently.
I am. Until he's off our team, I gotta represent for a playmaking guard that can make it happen for us. So has the ability to make it happen for us. Doesn't do it on too much of a consistent basis. But the defense, honestly, is something that we're gonna have to figure out. I mean, I'd love to be able to have a Celtics type defense where you can just generally switch 1 through 5, but again, that's just not the position that we're in, not the situation that we're in. Like when we look at the fourth quarter today, man, it looked like it was like just four NBA players on the court for the Lakers, and Austin Reeves like wasn't an NBA player on defense. Like, that's what it looked like. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, whoever it was, they would do the pick and roll, get the switch on Austin Reeves, and just take him to work. And it's tough though, because we're put in a predicament where it's like, well, if you don't have Austin Reeves out there, then you're gonna go with a more defensive minded lineup with the whole Cam and Rui. Cam and Vando and so. But and then we fall to the same issue on the other end, the offensive end. It's like, well, you're giving us nothing. So we're really stuck between a rock and a hard place with as far as like the defense. But I do want to talk about the other side of the ball, right? Because this game, the zone didn't get thrown out on us too much like how it did in the Heat game and in the Grizzlies game that absolutely froze us up. But one thing that I do want to say is that Darvin Ham, he better start showing these guys simple things that, I mean, even I'm not in the NBA, but I've learned how to break a zone in high school, to be honest with you. So I'm surprised that these players, it isn't just something that just comes natural.
Well, let me ask you this. Weren't you surprised because, Miami threw the zone over 40 possessions. We saw what happened there. Fourth quarter of that Memphis game, Taylor Jenkins was like saving it like a fine wine. And he threw out that zone in the fourth quarter and totally befuddled the Lakers in that fourth quarter. I didn't see much of a zone action that they were working on the defensive end for the Clippers. Were you surprised they didn't use that same game plan against the Lakers today?
I mean, realistically, I am, because if I was a coach of any other team and I'm watching film and I'm paying attention to what's going on in the league and I'm seeing a team's weakness, I'm going to exploit it until you show me that you're going to be able to figure it out. And the last two games, they haven't been able to figure it out. And I think it's, I'm not an NBA. I'm not on the court. I know it's, much harder said than done. But for the people who don't know out there, maybe Darvin Ham's tuned in. Maybe some of these Lakers players are tuned in. Breaking the zone, again, much easier said than done. You have to bring AD up. We're gonna have to bring up AD to that, that top of the paint / free throw line. He's gonna have to flash, and then we're gonna have players in the baseline constantly cutting baseline, looking for backdoor cuts as AD has the ball at the top of the paint and like free throw line extended, and then from there the offense is going to flow. Because if we just keep trying to shoot our way out of this zone, this isn't going to work. Like I don't know how many times that this Lakers team has to see it happen. I don't know how many times us fans have to see the Lakers team go through this, but we are most dominant when we're taking 10 to 15 threes a game, not 25 to 30 a game. And these past couple games, we've been getting them up. And I think that they're just sticking to, modern NBA that gets up a lot of threes, and they're just trying to, break the zone by shooting their way out of it. But we're not a 3-point shooting team. I believe someone in the chat earlier said that we're 24th in league for 3-point shooting. So
it's
that
not pretty.
Yeah.
Number makes, number takes.
Exactly.
It's just not pretty.
Exactly. So I think that the Lakers should stop trying to break this zone by getting with modern NBA and trying to shoot their way out of it, because it's just not going to work. And, stick to the basics, simple X's and O's. Bring AD up, have Vando cutting back door. Maybe when Rui gets back, have Rui cutting back door, maybe even Christian Wood, so we can, get some lobs going out there. But biggest thing is Darvin Ham's got to start teaching this now, because maybe teams aren't doing it in the regular season, but it would be idiotic of a team to know what stops the Lakers and not do it in the playoffs, if we even make it there at that point.
Once again, the Lakers do win 106-103. Magic Man, let me bring you back in before I hit it over to Joe. When it comes right down to it, you got a game today well enough to get the job done on the defensive end, because you like I said, LeBron and AD, scoring wise, just a little bit under their averages, or in the case of LeBron, right at it. Wasn't the greatest shooting day for the Lakers, but also as well, you didn't get the performance offensively that we count on for Austin Reeves. Only 8 points in the day, but still you had some individuals out there that stepped up. And one of the guys that did step up today is named by Christian Wood, who Z is very happy. He's been playing a little bit more with energy, I think, because he can sometimes just not give you the energy that you need. But the last 3 games, especially today, you saw the energy, blocking shots, rebounding, actually looking like he's putting effort out there on both ends of the floor, plus that Space Moon 3-pointer shot that I still think is coming down as we speak. When it comes right down to it, Christian Wood gave you quite a bit from what we saw, what we were hoping to get when we signed him as a free agent this summer.
Mm-hmm. So these returns are pretty good, Gerald. I would say of the almost, I would say out of the almost 40 games we played, I would count about 8 really good games from Christian Wood, which is, honestly, Gerald, that's probably underwhelming to what we were expecting. At least from an offensive output is concerned. That being said, the last 3 games have been good. His defense has been quite passable. Again, like you said, I think energy is the key for him, specifically defensively, especially as a help defender. He seems to be more exuberant and more willing to sacrifice as a help defender rather than an individual defender. Just keeping it real here. This is Christian Wood. So, I mean, as you can see, you have Anthony Davis. You could play drop coverage. You could play you could play man. You could play a particular kind of zone when you have that kind of support as a teammate. So, again, Gerald, we've talked about Wood. Is this kind of a breakthrough, or is it going to be a breakdown? Just doing the whole Jerry Maguire bit there.
I mean, we're dealing with rotation players. The thing is, the good teams, they have consistency from their rotation players, which is something we haven't had all season.
No, we haven't had the consistent rotation, let alone consistent role players. I mean, these guys don't have consistent roles game to game, as far as I'm concerned, Gerald. Rui Hachimura seems to be, asked to be a chameleon just about every game. If he plays the same way every game, he'll be productive and more efficient, because that's what happened last year. But it just seems the past 2 weeks or so, I mean, he's asking it again. I realized the source of this from Lakers fans, but Pat Beverly spoke last year about how Darvin Ham tried to make me a fork and I'm a spoon. I think he's doing the same thing again this year with a bunch of players. And yes, Gerald is right to laugh because it is stupid and it came from Patrick Beverly. But it's a fair analogy. I mean, yeah. When you eat soup, Gerald, do you eat soup with a fork or a spoon?
Usually a spoon, unless it's a very thick soup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so no, just basic soups. You use a spoon.
Just use a spoon.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Darvin Ham uses a fork, just based on his preferences for rotations and how to get players more confused about exactly what they're trying to do out there. I see that now clearly. There's a purpose to what some of them are doing, and then there's confusion with others. And
Alice says a spork, by the way.
a spork? What's a spork?
Sometimes you go to certain places like fast food joints, and they have a combination fork spoon where it's
You've never seen a spork?
You guys never saw La Brea Tar Pits.
Hold on, but they used to give.
I know, like
you didn't get spork.
He's a Renaissance man, but spork is a it's got the shape of a spoon, but with the ends of the fork. So
I was good with like plastic spoons and forks. I was good with that.
So let me ask Joe this. So we got from La Brea Tar Pits to sporks. D Angelo Russell declined to speak to the media tonight.
Who?
John's favorite player.
Who declined?
D Angelo Russell.
He declined to talk to the media?
Yeah, he declined
Really?
to talk
Why?
to the media. I don't know. He declined to talk to the media. He declined to talk to the media. So let me ask. Huh?
I said find out.
If he declined to talk to the media, he obviously can't tell you why he declined to talk to the media. So anyways, getting back to D Angelo Russell, in the previous days, you said him being out. You kind of agreed with our audience that D Angelo Russell being out of the lineup might have been the difference on why the Lakers had suffered through those terrible 4 games, although he missed, I think, only 3 of them with that bruised tailbone. So your thoughts, my friend, how important and key is D Angelo Russell going forward?
How key is D Angelo Russell? That's the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important. Okay. He needs to do what he did tonight. When he does what he does tonight, they always win.
He gives you that burst of scoring.
A third mother effing guy that can shoot consistently, though. That's what they need, man. They need a guy that can score. This one freaking guy every game that can score. Just like Powell for the Clippers. They have enough talent in terms of the stars. And then you have a couple of guys here and there that come on, come off every game or not. We need one more damn consistent player. And then one big that can rebound. That's it. We get that, it's game over. Now they're going to start winning. Because those rebounds, if it weren't for the offensive rebounds, Lakers would have probably blown out.
Zubats was killing them on the board.
Yeah, because the thing is, if you watch AD play, he is guarding 3 people, like the area. He can't do everything.
He doesn't box out. He has to jump usually because, like you said, he's ready to go ahead and go after shots.
He can't. Otherwise, it's going to be backdoor or whatever, and it's an easy layup, which happened a few times too, by the way. So every time he does that, that's what happens, and he has to adjust. And then you have to sacrifice getting that ball, and I don't know. It's a problem. It's a major problem, and it's going to get worse in the playoffs. So they got to figure out that problem before the playoffs, should they make it.
We'll see what happens indeed. But the Lakers do win 106-103. John, let me bring it back to you before I bring it back to Magic. When it comes right down to it, I mean, this is a win. You need to take the momentum going forward. It needs to be a good week for the Lakers to get back on track. And I'm assuming Darvin Ham so he could breathe a little bit easier. But before coming into tonight's game, how much were you reading into between the lines in regards to the, I guess, the job status of Darvin Ham? Do you really think that if they would have gotten blown out tonight, like some had theorized, Empire Jeff and some others, that that it would have been his last game? Because he threw out there that as a question earlier tonight on his show. Would it have been his last game had he lost tonight, John?
I don't think so. And I would love to get rid of him, but another thing we've said a lot of times is if
I
we
don't
get
see many people or hear many people that want to keep him. That's the thing I've
true, right? Like I don't want to keep him, but I also am just thinking about a coaching change midway through the season. Like that is like emergency. This has all gone bad. We just found out the coach was like on the low working for the other team. Like or the coach just absolutely hates the players. Nobody gets along with them. I just don't think it's that bad and to that point yet, because it's hard, y'all. Like it's hard. This is not NBA 2K. Like coaches matter, and coaches more matter for as far as gelling players. Like not as far as X's and O's. Like X's and O's in this league are more off out of bounds plays. This league is more of a reactionary pick and roll. Let's get the switch. Let's get the mismatch, and let's go from there. So I don't think that it's more of a like we need him for X's and O's, but we need him to gel this team. And I don't see another coach or another option out there that we're going to bring on midway through the season who's going to get the respect of the players and gel them and have us and fix this ship. Because in my opinion, let's say we get another coach and then we continue to be mid, like, all right, well, I think we just now put ourselves in a tougher situation. Now we had to get through all the problems that we have on the court, plus the problem of now gelling in this new coach. So as much as I'd love to get rid of Darvin Ham, I say we do the same thing that we did to Frank Vogel. Right, as soon as the season's over, like you find out you getting fired in your interview, that's the situation that we should go with Darvin Ham. And then just really quick, I do want to touch on that question that you had mentioned to Joe about the importance of D'Lo, only because president of D'Lo fan club here. I think D'Lo is actually going to be very, very important to us, in the sense of like, if we don't trade him and he's on the court, he's going to be important to where he can give LeBron the break in the regular season, and he can bring the ball up court. He can be that playmaker. He can preferably and hopefully be that shooter for us. But if he isn't, if we're like, all right, screw it, D'Lo's going to help us get that third score, then he can be part of a trade package. So I think no matter what, however you cut it, slice it, D'Lo is going to be important for us, whether he's a big trading piece for us or whether he's on the court producing that shooting off ball, or he's on the court producing that playmaking, to just take that responsibility off Bron a little bit in the middle of January. So LeBron doesn't have to be playing 38 minutes and so heavily relied on in January 7th. And he's 39.
Yeah, doesn't seem to bother anyone anymore. So much for that minute restriction that he started the season with. That went by real fast. Magic Man, I'm so glad you're back. I was worried that you were coming back. So I have a two-part question for you, my friend. I got something different for you. Question number one. Oh, he left. Don't leave me, Magic Man. Don't leave me. Come back on. I've got a great question for him, man. There he is. Okay, so Magic Man, let me ask you this. Part one of the question. How much do you miss Ivica Zubac in the middle for the Los Angeles Lakers? 22 points and 19 rebounds tonight against the Lakers.
That's the one, Gerald. That's the one. Pelinka, you blew it on that one.
I mean, they'll
really
say Magic. I know Magic, but Pelinka was in the room, Magic Man.
Pelinka was in the room, Gerald. And he should have been like smacking his hands like a seal, like Magic. This guy is going to be a perennial 18 and 12 going forward. Do not trade him. And if you're going to trade him for something good.
Second part of the question.
Mike.
You're good. You're good, man. You're good.
Mike Muscala.
Who's now on the Washington Wizards, just to let everybody know.
The Washington Generals, the
Yes.
Sisters of the Poor of the NBA,
Well, that would be Detroit, but they're pretty darn close to it.
Nah, I would say Washington is the Port Authority toilet of the NBA, Gerald.
Okay.
It's yeah, that was the I would rank that as the third worst trade in Lakers history, Gerald, all time.
Speaking of worst trade all time of the Lakers, the second part question, coincidentally, happens to be this. How much do you not miss Russell Westbrook on the Los Angeles Lakers, given that you saw a Russell Westbrook Los Angeles Lakers-like performance tonight?
Well done, Russell. As long as it's not on the Lakers, and as long as you don't win, hats off to you. Like the old Harper from
all-time worst, Sean. All-time worst. Sean in the chat. All-time worst transaction for the Lakers. Agreed, Magic Man?
Agreed. That there's really no competition.
They're still dealing with the residual of it.
There's no competition. That's the worst trade in Lakers history.
Agreed. Well said, my friend.
And if anyone is wondering what the second one is, I mean, it's debatable. To me, it's Adrian Dantley, Gerald, but it's debatable.
Okay, that's a good one, though. I think that's a really good one. Our Renaissance man, indeed. Just get him a spork.
I'm gonna have to go out and eat something with the spork soon. So
that's true. Although you can get Joe and John some tickets to the La Brea Tar Pits while you're there, while you're at it. Yes, absolutely.
What's the best? What would you qualify the best food to eat with a spork?
With a spork?
Chunky soup.
Yes.
Chili.
Soup,
mashed potatoes.
Chili. Mashed potatoes.
Good thick chili.
All right.
All right. And on that note, let me bring it back to you, John. I can see just like taking video for Lakers Fast Break, just right there with the spork and the chili right there. But let me get it back to you, John. When it comes right down to it, the Lakers, they're back in 10th place in the Western Conference. Nothing to sing about. I understand. I get it. And it's really nothing to celebrate over. The Lakers just now can use this as a springboard to better fortunes because they still do have a plethora of home games this month to deal with. And that could mean good things. But I said this a week ago and I got burned by it. So your thoughts now that the Lakers are, again, back in the Western Conference playoff picture and still do have a lot of home games left this month.
Come on, guys. This is our second chance. This is our second. We really should have been winning these last 4 games that we've had at home as well, too, and should have just gone on this long win streak and pick it up. But come on, y'all. This is our second chance. We can springboard. We lost the first opportunity against teams like the Grizzlies, against teams like the Heat, mind you, Jimmy Butler-less Heat, and all these home games. We lost those opportunities, and it's funny because I think Joe said this earlier in the show, right? It was like the Lakers sometimes like lose the easy games and then put themselves in the toughest position, and then go and win against like when we're in the toughest positions or against the toughest team. So you know what, Lakers Nation, all right, maybe you guys wanted to put yourself in this hole, go on this four game losing streak, and then turn it around because you want to show everybody just how damn good you are. And now I don't have much hope. I don't have much faith that is the case. But at this point, I got to hold on to something. This team has let me down more and more and more, but a win is a win. I'll take the win we got tonight. Let's keep it rolling. Let's I believe we got the Raptors next, right? Yeah, we got the Raptors next, Suns, and the Jazz. So let's knock these out. The Suns have been iffy. The Raptors, they've been doing their thing. The Jazz, we could get them, and then after that, we got the Thunder and Mavs. So it's gonna get tough, man. But we got it. And the biggest thing I'll say for the Lakers Nation and Lakers role players are figure it out in this homestand. Because if you don't figure it out in this homestand, you might have played your last game as a Laker.
So before I bring it over to Joe and to Magic Man to finish on out, could you give us an update of what you're doing on your great channels on YouTube and podcast outlets everywhere?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have 2 channels. I have the Lakers Corner channel where I talk all things Lakers. That is just on YouTube. Just look up Lakers Corner. You'll find me on there. And I also have a podcast in the YouTube channel. It's called Clutch Talk. And that's just an NBA talk show. Do weekly recaps. Just talk about the league in its entirety. Drop 2 episodes per week. That's on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. But as always, appreciate you guys for this platform, man. I love this post-game shows.
Appreciate your patience. Sorry about the technical issues early on. Joe, does this game give you any hope for the future for the Lakers that they can get back into the swing of things and be a competitive team in the Western Conference once again?
I'm not playing that game anymore.
That's what I thought. I just try to set you up for that, but I already know the answer.
Ask me what I think about the Toronto game.
What do you think about the Toronto game, Joe?
The Toronto game needs to be a win, because if you don't, that means this win means nothing. And then you have a chance to sweep Phoenix the game after that. You have to get into some kind of rhythm, some kind of winning streak here. Not 2, not 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe.
Okay.
That's what needs to happen. They need a couple of those here, the remaining couple months.
Magic Man, in 8 days, this is going to be Laker Tom's favorite time of the season because everybody, well, virtually everybody, will be on the books that's available to be traded. Jared Vanderbilt will not be, and Anthony Davis is not tradable until actually trade deadline day, I believe, which is February the 8th. But outside of that, everyone else will be fair game. And a lot of other people, the majority of the league, will also be fair game as well. That being said, do you see the guys, that want to stay in LA? Do you see their performance being a little bit more consistent for at least the next week or 2 going forward? By coincidence? Because there are jobs on the line, my friend.
Oh, you know what they say about living in Canada and Texas, Gerald?
Outside the taxes? Go ahead, my friend.
Mm-hmm. If you wanna know, if you wanna wait for the weather to change, just wait 5 minutes. That's kind of what I feel about the answer to that situation. Wait 5 minutes for them to be productive, and then the next 5 minutes they're being completely inefficient and boneheaded. It's kind of like watching an old Buster Keaton film with Cam and Vando out there, aka the Cardio Bros. Gerald, we're limited. It feels like it's 3-on-5 on offense. It's just, just collapse into the paint. Don't allow the 1 or 2 drivers they have out there. Either it's LeBron, Austin Reeves, D'Lo, take your pick, right, Gerald? Rui can do it now and again, but for the most part, those are your 3.
And which Prince are you getting?
The Prince you're getting is the one you should play less than 30 minutes, asking him to essentially play good defense on, the team's second or third best perimeter player, not their first, not their second. He shouldn't be. First of all, again, this is going back to philosophy, Gerald. We're heading back to an old Greek quote: "Know thyself, know thy personnel." And Prince is not a personnel you task with being a third option in offense, B, someone who shouldn't be tasked with guarding anybody's first, second, or third
option on offense. That's just my opinion. However, I think anybody would say he shouldn't at least be guarding one of the two best. C is that his productivity is based on minutes, Gerald. It's a minutes production issue with Prince. He plays less than 30 minutes, very productive. Longer than that, you get a steep decline in
He
efficiency
played
and
30 today, just to
productivity.
let you know. He played 30 on the dot.
There you go. That should be like bare max. Bare max. He shouldn't go above that whatsoever. And until you get reinforcements or improve the roster, that's what he should be getting.
We'll see what happens, but the Lakers did win tonight, 106-103. They move back up to 10th place in the Western Conference. That's 10th place in the Western Conference. They're 18-19. Hopefully we can go ahead and start on a run now. It starts hopefully it will continue on Tuesday against Toronto. Looking forward to it. So glad to have Magic Man back in the fold with us. Truly appreciate it. And once again, the entire Lakers Fast Break community gives our thoughts, our support, and our love to you, Magic. We are just rooting for you, you and your entire family. Anything that you need from us, just name it. Even Joe, even Mr. La Brea Tar Pits Joe. How about that? Magic Man.
Joe's my big bro.
There you go.
I'll just leave it at that.
I'm getting all misty-eyed.
In your face, Gerald Glassford.
I am the much older bro. Thank
Can
you,
I
sir.
be the little bro, Magic Mike?
Yeah, man. You're my little bro. My little
go.
bro, John.
There we go.
There you go. Sean says, eat with a spork. Yes, absolutely. In honor of today's
Still
win.
gotta find one of those.
I do it to see if you're paying attention, Alan.
Okay.
You answered it.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us.
Your voice sounds a lot better tonight, I must say.
Yes. Still don't ask him to hit a cappella.
I'm just happy it's my body isn't aching anymore. My throat's still dry, but the achiness is gone.
Yes, yeah, that barbershop quartet thing is out now for a little while. So yeah.
What?
Don't do that. Don't ask you to sing. How about that? No karaoke.
I don't sing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we found out the one thing he doesn't do.
I've sang before. I just don't sing like regularly.
Okay.
Not even in the shower.
That I didn't need to know. I really didn't need to know.
Good.
Yeah.
You got problems, man.
Gerald, you ever have gym class in
I
school?
have gym class, yes.
Yeah, so didn't you have to shower with, your other classmates at that point?
We did, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I did the same thing. It's the don't be bashful on here. We've
But I just
had much
last
weirder
thing I want to do is go to
conversations.
the Soro house, and then I hear down the hallway Joe, whether or not he's singing in the shower or not. That's just something I just, it's not.
Singing Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
You're singing something, that's for sure. Once
I
again,
never liked that one.
Once again, it's the Lakers Fast Break. John's just going, what the hell is wrong with this show?
No, I love it. I love the banter.
No, I was a little after the.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta say,
Community shower
Mary Poppins is so much better than Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
All right. It's the Lakers Fast Break. Thanks so much
Oh,
for
come
joining.
on, Gerald. Don't act like you don't have an opinion on that one.
No, well, Sound
Get
of
an
Music.
opinion.
My
You
girls will
had an
tell me.
opinion on
My girls will
Ghostbusters
tell me
2.
Sound of Music. If I don't say Sound of Music, they're going to go ahead and give me a lot of issues. So yes, Sound of Music. I'm going to go ahead and say that's the one right there. Sound of Music. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I've only seen like once a long time ago. It never really endeared to me. So I will say Sound of Music. I'll go with that. Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us. Yeah, thank you. I will take that as a compliment. Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate it. Z, always great to have you here. Darren, Intel Wild, Sean, Allen, or I should say Gervais. because there was 2 Allens on the broadcast today. SC for life. Great to have you here. Great to have our entire crew. If you've not yet liked and subscribed, please do so today to get the latest notifications on when we go live. Like tomorrow, we've got a snack pack coming up for you right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Is that the singing you might be doing in the shower?
No.
Thank goodness.
My throat.